Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Booked with Juby. Today's video is going to be my reading wrap up of June 2026, and I'm going to be truthful with you guys. This month was kind of mid. It's kind of mid, and I'll tell you why. It wasn't terrible. I didn't have any like stinkers on there, but they were just like mid books, and that's okay. Like, I enjoyed them enough, but they weren't like outstanding. I did have 2 5-star reads though, so that made up for it. And I'm already looking forward to July TBR, so can't wait to dive into some of those books. But for now, let's get to it. Okay, so the first book that I read in June was Heartless by Elsie Silver. Now, if you're familiar with Elsie Silver, then you know these books, you sort of know what you're getting into, okay? It's like, we're talking cowboys, rodeo, steamy, mountains, country, that's our vibe. And Canadian version, thank you very much. And I'm Canadian, so I'm a little biased, so I love this. Really good. This is the second book in the series, and it follows the brother of the main male character from the first book, and that would be Cade Eaton. And then we're also following Willa, who sort of unexpectedly becomes his nanny for the summer. He's a single dad, and it's a single dad romance. So really cute. It was fun. It's like a 3-star. Nothing special, nothing bad about it. It was enjoyable. It's fast-paced. It is spicier, so if spice is not your vibe, then you this might be too much for you. But you can also kind of go, like, you kind of read over it, if that, you know what I mean? Go through it quickly and still get the romance parts of this. It's really cute. Kind of a will they, won't they type of situation, but it's like very clear that they're into each other, but they sort of have to hate each other a little bit. And overall, really great story, really sweet, especially if you're looking for something fun and quick to read this summer. This will definitely heat you up. Okay, so the second book I've read was a Riley Sager book, and I haven't read one of his in a while, and it was The House Across the Lake. Solid 3 stars. I'm going to start that off. It was good. Was it as good as some other Riley Sager I've read? No, it wasn't. But it was good enough, and you know what? It wasn't actually set in the summertime, but the lake house vibe was giving me summer enough that it felt like it could be. And so I think that's why I picked it up, because I was kind of going for like summery vibes in June. This book basically follows Casey. She's a recent widow who, you know, is kind of down on her luck. She's a famous actress who, you know, she's kind of become an alcoholic, and she needs to recalibrate. She needs to redo her life because things are kind of heading a bad way due to her husband dying. And so she ends up at this lake house that's been in her family for generations, and she becomes obsessed with this new fancy famous couple across the lake. And I mean obsessed. She's got these really crazy binoculars. She's following their story, and there's a bunch of other characters kind of in between and around her that are kind of important to the story but not important to the story. And the woman across the lake goes missing, and she is determined to figure out what happened to her because her husband had gone missing and then turned up dead. So she's trying to figure out, hey, what's going on? Is it the husband? It's always the husband, right? We don't know. So if you like an unreliable narration, this is a book for you. It's a 3-star, maybe 3.5. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, it was good. I don't know if I've read some other Riley Sager, and I think that's why, like, I think this one came before that, so it wasn't just my favorite. But genuinely, if you're looking for something suspenseful, the only critique I will give it was maybe a little bit repetitive about the alcoholism, like a little bit over and over and over again, which was fine. It just seemed like he said that, like, I know I got it, like, we know what we're working with here, if that makes sense. But truthfully, really interesting book, and it did give summer vibes, even though it technically is set more in like October time of year. Okay, the next book that I read was Cuckoo Land by Anthony Doerr, not sure if I'm saying that right. Now, this book is like a literary historical fiction. It's very high level writing, which is great, excellent, beautiful storyteller, very beautiful storyteller, but it's really hard to summarize what's going on in this book because there's so many timelines and they actually all intertwine. You have the future, you have the present, and then you have way in the past, and you have multiple POVs and a lot going on. The book is really really about the love of books and words and reading. That's really what it comes down to, and how it can transfer from basically one time to another. Like it spans life. And so it's interesting how the book all kind of comes together and ties together in a neat little bow at the end. It was a bit of a slower read. I don't think I read this at the right time of year. I think I would have enjoyed this more maybe in the winter when it's a little more of a cozy book read. I was reading this outside and it just wasn't giving me summer. So I did enjoy it a lot. It took me a minute to get into it, I'll be honest with you. Like I was trying to see what he was doing, and it, again, beautifully written, like stunning words. The way he writes it's gorgeous, really. But it is at that like a little bit higher level, and sometimes I don't want a high level book, you know? Sometimes I want to read something that's just like, a fun time. This isn't a fun time book. This is an excellent, beautiful book. It's not a fun time book, but I did end up rating it a 3.5. Could be even a 4-star just if you want to go based on the writing. Really stunning. It was a little slow for me, and maybe just wasn't the time of year to be reading this one, but overall enjoyed it. If that's your type of vibe, I would definitely check it out. Really does a good job of world building and storytelling in such a magical, beautiful way, and it again ties it all together in a neat little bow at the end, and it's so beautiful to watch that happen. So if that's your vibe, definitely check this one out. Okay, so the next book I read in June was Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. Now, fun fact for you, this whole time I'm thinking Christina Lauren is just one lady like author. No, it's actually two best friends that they use their pen names together and they actually write these together. So I didn't know that. So interesting little tidbit. Anyway, they're like best friends and they write these books there. So cool. I've read some other Christina Lauren books before and I've always enjoyed them. They're just like little fun romance, rom-com type of books, contemporary romance. This one, same thing, but this one was more like cowboy centered, and the cowboy is the girl, the main female character, which was really interesting. So basically we're following Lily. She has this famous father, Duke Wilder, who was known for exploring and finding maps and treasure all over the place in Utah. And he dies and leaves her basically these clues to finding treasure. And along comes her long lost love, Leo Grady, who magically disappeared years and years before, and now they're forced to kind of work together to find this treasure. Very interesting book, fun, very easy to read. You can fly through this if you want. It did not take long to get through this. I would rate it like a 3, maybe a 3.5. It was fun. The main male character was cute. The main female character was cute. I liked the vibe. It was a bit like clear insta love in a way, but I also, so there wasn't a lot of angst, and I like a little bit more like will they, won't they, will they, won't they, but I can also appreciate for fun, quick read, insta love. So this was good, had a good time with it, definitely would pick up some more from her, and it definitely gave summer vibes, okay? So like they were like, camping out under the stars, just cowboys riding horses, finding treasure. It was really quite cute, and it was like a non-stop adventure basically, so highly recommend picking this one up. Okay, the next book I picked up was The Story She Left Behind by Patti Callahan Henry, and this is a historical fiction. Basically we follow this girl named Clara, and this is in the 1950s, and years before, she had a famous mother who disappeared when she's about 8 years old, and nobody has been able to solve the mystery of where this author went, and she left this magical story that she'd written unfinished. There's a second book, but nobody can decode it because she has her own special language, and nobody knows how to decode this book. So Clara ends up getting a call one day from this guy in London, and he says, hey, I found this satchel. My father just passed away. I'm cleaning out his study, and I found this satchel, and it says that I'm to give this directly to you. So she and her daughter fly out to London. They get there and they're trying to kind of piece the story together and figure out if they can trust this guy or not. And then the smog comes through London, forcing them out into the country, where he has a family estate where his mom's staying, and all the mystery and secrets kind of unravel from there. Really cute premise. I got a little bored, if I'm being honest with you. I wish I liked this more than I did. And also, this cover is giving summer, okay? Summer, spring to me. This was set in winter, so I don't even know, like, it wasn't the right vibe. Maybe, again, I didn't read it at the right time of year, but this, you see this cover, right? We're looking at the same cover. This is giving summer to me. I don't know about you, but this was giving me like a summer night, not cold winter vibes, which this was all based in the winter and it was freezing cold. So it was fine. Enjoyed it enough. Probably like a 2.5, 3 star. It wasn't my favorite historical fiction. I, again, got a little bored, and by the end, I felt like she was just kind of rushing to end things, and she spent a lot of time in the middle of a bunch of just like nothing happening. So not my favorite book, if I'm going to be honest with you, but I would definitely try more books of her because I have read some other ones and I've enjoyed them. I just think this one didn't hit the mark for me. Okay, so of course my 5-star book, it's a reread. It's A Court of Mist and Fury. If you are new here, then you don't know that I am doing a reread of all the ACOTAR series up until October, because that's when the new book comes out, and I haven't read these in a couple years, so I thought, you know what, let me get re-familiar with these characters. I loved them then, and I'm loving them now. And let me tell you, if you haven't read them in a while, highly recommend trying to get this done before October. We still got time. I know they're big, I know they're chunky, but there's so much I forgot, and rereading it through a second time lens is so much fun because I get to see characters through a different POV and see more of the foreshadowing that she was doing. And the thing about these books is, I know everyone's like, it's romantic-y. Oh no. It's an epic battle that's happening, okay? There's a big war that's coming, and they are all rallying or trying to rally together to save the world is what they're trying to do. So yes, there's romance in it. Yes, it's romantic-y. And yes, like, us girlies, we freaking love it. Of course we do. But there's also an epic adventure happening at the same time. And a really badass female main character who, I mean, Feyre, we love her. Like, she's doing it all, and like on her terms too, and I love that. Now, I don't want to talk too much about the second book, the story, because if you haven't read the first one, you're not going to know what's going on in the second one. But let's just say a second time read of this one, if you know, you know, and did not disappoint. I enjoyed it so much, and I cannot wait to read the next book. I almost want to read the next book right away, but I'm trying to space them out enough so that like I have time before October and it's not like all of them at once. But man, am I ever having fun with these books. So I only got 1 audiobook done in June. I'm usually like 2 or 3, but we had a lot going on. And also I've been listening to a lot of music lately. I'm really into country lately. I don't know about you guys, but I will get obsessed with one album, and that's all I'll listen to. So I was listening to Ernest a lot this month, and a lot of Tucker Wetmore. Not sure if you guys are fans, but I've been listening to the Flower Shops album, and I can't remember what Tucker Wetmore's is called, but his 2025 album. Just can't seem to stop listening to that. I don't know why I'm specifically into country right now, but it's all I seem to be wanting to listen to, and I'm having a blast. What kind of music do you guys like? Let me know below if there's albums that I should be listening to. But let's talk about the audiobook that I listened to. It was Yesteryear. Yeah, you've seen it everywhere. It's blowing up on social media. It's in all the bookstores, and it is a 5-star read and totally worth the hype. I had so much fun with this audiobook. I think I would have enjoyed reading it too, but the audio was so well done. I could not stop listening to this thing. I was obsessed. Basically, we are following Natalie. She is a very, very successful social media influencer, and her bread and butter, she's a trad wife. She is a traditional wife. She does things traditionally. They're almost like pioneer meets modern time. And she portrays herself as this like, oh, we make our own bread, we do our own, get our own organic milk, we grow our own organic vegetables. And she portrays this one view online, but the reality is her real life is so far from that. And one morning she wakes up and she's back in the real 1800s, and she's with her family, but it's not her family. They're kids she doesn't recognize. It's her husband, but he's older but sort of different, and she can't understand how to get out of this world and get back to the future. So much going on in this book. It's satire, it's funny, it's a little sad, it's like a drama, there's a little mystery, political, like it kind of hits all the marks, and genuinely had so much fun listening to this book. The ending was a really cool spin on it, and I really thought it tidied it up really well. And overall, again, 5-star for me. I would read or listen to this one again. So highly recommend checking this one out. I don't want to say too much more because there's so much more to the story, but I don't want to spoil it for you. So if you're out of any of these books I talked about and you're going to add one, add this one to your TBR immediately. So there we have it. That was my June 2026. Was it my best reading month? No. Was it my worst? Also no. A lot of 3 stars. 3-star does not mean it's a bad book, just means it's mid. And then I enjoyed it enough. I didn't want to necessarily put it down. I didn't rate it like a 2 or a 1. I didn't DNF it. It was just fine. There's nothing wrong with a 3-star. And I think sometimes we get caught up, like if it doesn't have like a really high rating on Goodreads, we're like, oh, I can't read that. But I'm like, you can't always go based off of that. You have to sometimes just go with the vibes and what you're feeling. And I'm also like very big on genre hopping. I'm not a very like only this genre. I think it's fun to mix it up and change the vibe up a little bit and kind of go with your mood a little bit more than what you think is going to be a really good read, because half the time when you think it's going to be a good read, it probably isn't. But as always, I love you all so much. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe and make sure you hit the notifications to get all the videos. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a happy reading month. Bye.